welcome to edition 123 of our Killa No Filla podcast with me, Rachel Fairburn, and Kiri Pritchard-McLean. Just before we start, we'll do our usual disclaimer. This isn't hero worship. We do this podcast because we have a mutual interest in serial killers. As long as we are doing this podcast, it stops us from writing to them in prison.
It does.
Halloween edition.
Halloween edition. I think mine might be extra spooky. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone, but there's footsteps in the room above me, and it could be a ghost or it could be a joiner putting in an inbuilt cupboard.
Ooh. We've got a spooky friend in the house at the moment. There's a mouse in the house.
Listen, I obviously live in an old house. I went through a big stage earlier this year where my car and my house had rats in, and apparently it was very normal. Well, no, it wasn't very normal, but when we went to get a humane rat trap, they were like, everyone on the island is dealing with rats at the moment.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, though, it's like it's only me that's seen it, but what happens is it's a ghost rat. But what happens is we both frighten each other. So twice we've both gone, ah! And the mouse or whatever it is has run one way and I've run the other. And then I've been like, Tim! And then yesterday it emerged from behind the washing machine thinking it was safe. And then I walked in and we both went, ah! And ran each way. But I've said I don't want to deal with it because I obviously it has to leave the house. But I'm away for a couple of days now and I do not want to be here when it's dealt with. Mm-hmm. Part of me wants to give it treats, but we cannot do that. So it's also I hate it's got a real heavy body. You can hear it slam it's got a real weight to it. And
is it not a rat then?
I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't want to get involved. But
is it like this big? Or is it bigger than that?
I don't know. I don't want to think about it. But
Okay,
I've heard
that's
its
fine.
little. I've heard its toenails on the. Like your ex-boyfriend. Maybe it's him.
That's so funny. Also, I love the idea that you're like, oh, a mouse, and then it comes out and it's like, oh my god, a tiny Mancunian.
Yeah, it's like fuck. Yeah, we both just run it. I've not seen it properly, but it's. But yeah, it will be dealt with this weekend, and I have said humane traps, but. Look, it's up to Tim what he does. We were talking about candles actually. We've both got a little candle on the go, haven't we?
I've got a little incense, a rosemary scented one.
We're candle people now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm in my candle era for sure.
Well, best place to go for candles. Listen, this isn't an advert.
TK?
TK Maxx, but Savers, very good.
Really?
Savers, brilliant. Yeah, you can get your fake Yankee candles in there. Tim went to the shop and I said, get a couple of candles while you're there. I don't think he's ever bought a candle in his life. And he came back stunned because he'd been to Sainsbury's and he went through the Habitat range. I was like, you don't know what you're doing, mate, do you?
Can I show you, by coincidence, the most expensive candle I've got is it's a Joe Malone one.
Oh.
You'll notice, I've had this year's, never opened. I'm too scared to burn it because this is like, I don't have a pension, I don't have children. Yeah. Like, this is the closest I have to an heirloom.
That's an heirloom now, yeah. That's an heirloom. I always think when people say Joe Malone, I always think about Home Alone.
That's the origin story.
Feels Christmassy. Anyway, we'll just mention at the top here, it's 11th birthday technically now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Halloween show, Soho Theatre, Walthamstow, almost sold out. A smattering of tickets.
Tiny amount of tickets. It's going to be so fun. That venue looks amazing. There's big cardboard cutouts of us in the foyer, which we're thrilled about.
Which will be fun, yeah. Take pictures with that.
Please do. What are we going to do with it afterwards?
Are we going to keep it?
I mean, what are we going to do? Joint custody? I drive it down to London, you have it on the weekends.
I'd like
we
to...
meet in a service station so you can take it to Mackey's.
I just don't... Yeah, I don't want some weird man getting hold of it and humping it.
That's true, yeah.
So I think we need to hole in it. We need to get it. Yeah, cutting a hole in the back of it.
And then in my head and your vag. Just a tattered hole.
It's disgusting. So if you want to come to that, a smattering of tickets, I hate that word, of tickets are available.
Have I told you about the ducks in my house? I have, haven't I?
Yes, the rubber ducks.
Yes. So
any news?
I've got 50 rubber ducks that we think that my brother bought accidentally. He was scammed and bought 50 rubber ducks rather than a agricultural trailer.
Got you. So
I've got 50 rubber ducks I don't know what to do with. I think I'm going to bring them to the show and maybe we can sign them and the first 50 people can have a rubber duck.
I think that's a really great idea.
Okay, great.
I think that's great. Speaking of rubber ducks, I do have a rubber duck story myself.
Go on.
So I went to, I might have mentioned this last time, I went to Nottingham with my friend Sarah, who from the Black Horse in Aylstone. And she took me on a nice day out, and after we'd watched Uncanny Live. And we went to the Justice Museum, which was very good. Mm. And because obviously, say, I up me duck in Nottingham, they sold rubber ducks in the shop. So I bought a rubber duck that was pretending to be a policeman.
I know exactly. I was going to say, was it the policeman or was it a little black and white striped prisoner?
Yes, it was a policeman. So I got that. Anyway, in the interim, I'm coming back on the train home. Tim has locked himself out of the flat like Frank fucking Spencer. I tell you, but I locked myself out of the flat again. I don't know how he's done it. He's gone through next door to try. Listen, my next door neighbours, I don't know what's going on there, but I had to go around and get a parcel the other day, and a very squat Eastern European man was very rude to me. And do you know what he was carrying as he walked into the house? This is no word of a lie.
Go on.
A plastic see-through bag of raw meat.
Oh my God.
And
that's like something from a Tennessee Williams play.
Yeah, and I'm not talking like, not your decent. I'm talking innards.
Just a bag of offal.
This guy had a bag of offal.
Maybe that was his girlfriend.
I'm like,
wait, does that sound racist? It wasn't meant to.
I was like, this fucking. Anyway, I don't know what's going on next door. There's something going on which I'm not getting involved in. So we had to go through next door's house, and they weren't happy about it. And then he was just trapped in the backyard. And then he's ringing me, and I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm on a train, mate. I can't help you. So the other bit of this you need to realise is he's left the bath running in a brilliant Frank Spencer-esque.
Oh my fucking God, what?
Yeah, who has a bath in the afternoon?
Again, a Tennessee Williams character.
Yeah, exactly. So he's left the bath running. So he's had to phone the landlord. Landlord has to rush round to assist and get him in the flat fine. Luckily, it's not overflowed. But I looked really stupid coming back with a rubber duck that was also a policeman in this fucking incident. Oh my God.
It's so funny because it looks like you've been like, can you start the bath running? Because I've got a rubber duck that I really want to try out.
We've got to see this
in the panic,
action.
He's locked himself out. You should have asked the rat to let him in.
Well, the rat wasn't around then. I'm sure if it was, it would have been very helpful. Anyway, who are we doing?
Speaking of rats,
yeah.
Let's talk about our Halloween special.
Woo!
So we're going to do a case that actually we did live at Halloween last year, which is absolutely fascinating because we always
was that Halloween?
Yeah, it was in Ireland. Yeah, so
I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was Halloween. So we're going to tell you about Bonnie and Clyde, the greatest love story there ever was outside of Rachel Fairburn and I.
Yeah, there you go. Or who else?
Paris and Tyson Fury.
Oh.
Have you watched this series, the Netflix series? No, I thought you wouldn't like it. Listen, I'm obsessed.
I enjoy boxing. It's probably, I'd say, my favourite sport.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to get involved in the private lives of people.
I have no interest in boxing, but I've got a lot of time for Paris Fury.
I've got a lot of things to say about it that I won't be saying on here. I'll save it for WhatsApp. So Bonnie and Clyde. We'll start with Bonnie. Mm-hmm. Bonnie Elizabeth Parker, born October the 1st, 1910, in Rowena, Texas. Mm-hmm. She was the second of 3 children. She had an older brother called Hubert, who everyone called Buster. And she had a younger sister called Billy. Now, her father was Charles Robert Parker, was a bricklayer, and he died when Bonnie was just 4 years old. And the mother, Emma Krause, when Charles died, she decided to move back to her parents' home in Cement City, West Dallas.
Sounds so nice.
Which was an industrial suburb, in case you didn't know. She worked as a seamstress, and Bonnie was a very bright child who loved attention and performing.
She wanted to be an actress, didn't she, when she grew up? And she was actually very clever at school and did a lot of writing. She even started her poetry, which is something she becomes famous for. She started writing poems when she was very young. I think are you 4'11"?
Around that, yeah.
Yeah, same height as you, Rachel.
Lovely stuff. Well, everyone was that height in those days, weren't they? The marriage didn't last very long. Oh, no, sorry, I've jumped ahead there. Oh, my God, have I just had, like, an aneurysm?
Well, he died, so it didn't last.
No, so this is it. She gets married, and this is her second year in high school. She met Ray Thornton. Now, they dropped out of school and they got married on the 25th of September, 1926, 6 days before Bonnie's 16th birthday.
Yes.
God, they were rushing through life in those days.
Well, they kind of were. But so she's 16, she gets married to this guy who's a petty criminal. He's a safe cracker. It's his, job. He's only a little bit older than her. And well, they didn't see each other much. And when they did, he was really violent with her. So she's a 16-year-old who's kind of married and in a violent relationship, and he gets locked up for 17 years and they literally never see each other again. So
yes.
A short but sweet romance.
Well, he was then killed in 1937 while trying to escape Huntsville State Prison in Texas.
Huntsville State Prison and Eastern Prison loom large in this story.
A very short and brutal life there for Ray. After she'd split up with him initially, she went back to Dallas to live with her mum. Mm-hmm. And she worked as a waitress, and she kept a diary, a keen diary keeper. And she, in 1929, when she was 18 years old, she was talking of how she was sick of Dallas and how she loved photography.
Mm-hmm. Are you a diarist?
No.
Really?
No, I let Facebook memories do that for me. No, I'm not. I like the idea of it, but it's like I've got a box full of notebooks that I've, for stand-up, and I'm like, well, what the fuck am I going to do with these? It's like the last thing I need is diaries. Also, for who?
Well, for the archivist of your estate.
Who?
Tim.
Oh, right, Tim, yeah. I don't want Tim reading my fucking diary. Can you imagine that? Poor bloke, it'd just be me going, another fucking Frank Spencer moment.
I always think that, when they publish people's... Who was the author recently where they published her journal she made of meeting her psychiatrist?
Oh, yeah.
And then people are like, I don't think we need to read this. But because her book sells so well, they were like, well, we think the public deserve to, read her fucking diaries? Are you mad?
When you're dead, you could, anything. Fair. You cannot defame the dead. Done. Anything. It's fair game, innit?
Yeah,
it's
but you can defame all the people mentioned in the fucking diary.
Well, I've got a real issue with, I hate AI, we know this. But, and isn't it just creeping in into everything now?
Yeah, I hate it.
Which I'll get to in a second. But this is my sort of peeve. There's an advert at the moment with Angela Rippon and Albert Einstein, like an AI Albert Einstein. I'm like, I don't think you should be allowed to do that.
No, it's mad.
I don't think you should be able to make adverts with an actual sort of, what's the word?
Like a deep fake.
Yeah,
someone's
I think
likeness.
It's weird and it's creepy and it's obnoxious. And how do you know that you're just I don't know, it's very unsavoury. It's like when they did an advert years ago before AI with it was Marilyn Monroe and I think it was Givenchy or something. I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's really...
Don't do that.
Really unsettling and such a... I don't know, it feels like a really kind of controlling thing to do. I've been like, yeah, well, you're dead and we can do whatever we want with your face. Like, what?
So then, the other thing, yesterday, don't get me started on fucking booking.com. So I booked a hotel and it took the money but didn't book the hotel. Can
I give you a genuine, this is not sponsored or anything, but can I give you a life-changing bit of recommendation for hotels?
Yes, please.
So I use an app I think it's called hotel.com, and it's fucking great, and they give you a percentage back on everything.
Oh, so right, okay.
They used to give you your 11th stay was free, up to a certain amount of money. But at the moment we've got because we use a lot of hotels when you stand up, I've got 400 quid sat there
amazing.
ready to go. So I'm going to go and stay in a really fun posh hotel in London I'd never be able to afford to go to. And they give you, good. If you're a premier thing like us, and that just means you use it a lot, you get massive discounts on stuff and you get extra benefits. I promise you it's brilliant.
Send me the link.
I will.
Send me the link. Thank you. So the other thing is I usually book a Motel 1. They're my favourites. And I go direct via the website because they're a good business and I like them. Anyhow, my point is, this money left my account. Then I have to try and find a phone number, which I couldn't fucking find. And I had an AI assistant. I'm like, Don't put a sound of typing in the background as if I'm some sort of fucking mug that I don't know that that's not a real human. Like, hello, I'm your AI assistant. Yeah, and you're fucking rubbish. I don't want to talk to an AI person. Like, I want to talk to a proper person. It's starting already. And it's going to go too far.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll get to the other way where, you know, and this is obviously a big, well, half of it's coded in racism. But, you know, when people now are like, we have call centres in the UK because people were frustrated with some people hearing foreigners and some people they just couldn't hear or decipher from various people's accents. That's why also they don't put them in certain places of the UK.
But also that works both ways because the amount of times I've been on a call in the call centres in India, and the person, they can't understand me.
Yeah, well, exactly,
so I'm like,
right?
You can't. There's so many accents in the UK that it's hard. Like it doesn't work.
Yeah. So now people are like, call centres in the UK, it's a selling point. I think it will go like that, where it's like we don't use AI. You will speak to a person, and I think it will be the same with. That's why I think if you're like us and you can do live comedy, because lots of people can do like online comedy, but they can't do it live. I think the online comedy people are easily replaced than people. Because
I've got a list and I can't wait to see the back of some of these cunts. Oh, here's a man doing a skit about a Lime bike. Woo, yeah. Another one.
What were we talking about again? Bonnie and Clyde. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I got distracted.
So, Clyde, Chestnut Barrow.
Love that name so
Lovely
much.
seasonal name. Born in 1909. His family were very poor farmers. They lived in Ellis County in Texas, and he was the fifth of 7 children. His father was Henry Basil Barrow, or Basil Barrow, if you're listening in America. Oh, don't get me started on those pronunciations. The mother was Cume Talitha Walker. Now, they moved to Dallas in the early 1920s because lots of rural communities headed into the city. And they lived in the slums of West Dallas, and they spent the first months living under a wagon.
So apparently there was a huge, almost like favela under the viaduct in the city, because loads of what you've got is like the depression is starting to... Is we're on our way to a depression.
When was the Wall Street crash, please?
Oh, well, it's on its way, so I'll fucking mention it then.
Okay, thank you.
So like the crops had been failing, the farms had been failing, and all these people like we've got to go to the city to find some work. And I thought it was a joke when I was sort of reading about it that they lived but they literally lived in the mud under a wagon for about 4 months until they could afford a tent. It just sounds horrific. But then it's like they save up, so they go from under a wagon to a tent, and then the next stage is Henry buys a gas station. And it's like, I feel like in the terms of Monopoly board, there's a few steps before, you know, when that guy who swapped like a paperclip for a house.
Yeah.
It feels like they've gone straight from paperclip to house.
Yeah, well, what you've done is you've been playing the game of Monopoly and you've left because you've got bored, and then you've come in and it's gone off the scale. I fucking hate that game. It's so boring.
We had some kids here and they were like, what's this? Let's play this. And I said, it's a really boring game. You won't like it. And they're like, no, I want to play it. Halfway through setting up the board, it was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
It is so boring. I mean, I don't like games anyway, as you know. I'm like, Hungry Hippo's fine. But I just, should we play a board game? No, absolutely fucking not. Electricity exists. Put the telly on. I cannot. I'm not playing a board game. I find them so tedious. That's what I was going to tell you about. Put the telly on. I'm not a big telly watcher. I'm more of a Kindle reader. I thought to myself the other day, though, I'm going to watch this film, right? And you know me, I like shit films. Anyway, this came up, The Threesome, right? Not one of those films before you start.
Well, I don't know how it couldn't be, but go on.
It is the most horrible film I have ever watched. Horrible.
Is it a porno?
No. Is it eck? Listen, now there's face recognition. Do you think I'm bothering watching anything filthy? No, thank you. Also, I've got a good imagination, so I don't need that.
Well done.
I don't know why I'm talking about this. Anyway, so put this film on. And the plot is, it's supposed to be a romantic comedy. It's horrible. It's about this bloke who he's got this on-again, off-again relationship with this woman, and she's a bit of a, hey, pick-me girl. And they meet this other woman at something, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention at the beginning. And they have a threesome on the woman's suggestion. Right. Anyway, the woman that he actually likes leaves in the morning and is left with the other woman, who is what I'd describe as a bit of a goer. And she says to him, hey, why don't you get in the shower, mate? And then they have sex in the shower. And then she gets pregnant, but then he goes in a relationship with the other woman and she also gets pregnant. It's horrible. And like, it's like got one of those sassy female characters and he's got an answer for everything.
Is no one on the pill in this? Like, is this in a dystopic world with no contraception?
Thank you. Right. So then they decide to keep the baby. Then this other woman turns up and she's like, oh, I'm pregnant by you. And then he's like, what? And
Rub her up, mate. If you're going to be banging multiple women, put a Johnny on it.
So then there's a sassy gay friend in it as well.
Is he
sassy
pregnant?
Sassy gay male friend. No, he's fine. And it's just like the woman that he's with finds out about the other woman being pregnant because they're due at the same time. And then she decides to have an abortion and they go on a road trip. I'm like, this film is horrible. And then, look, I'm going to ruin it for you because I don't give a shit because it's the most horrible film that's ever been written. They both go into labour on the same day. And then...
sorry, she was trying to get an abortion. How late is... she's going into labour at the same time you can get an abortion. That doesn't make sense.
I didn't write this trash. I just sat through it. So then, other things happen in the interim. Obviously, he wants to get back with her, blah, 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 blah. And then the two women decide that they like each other. Oh, my God, women can be friends. And then they go into labour, and it turns out that the woman he loves has had sex with somebody else who told her he'd had a vasectomy.
Right.
That she'd met in a bar, and he then goes, "Oh, hey, I didn't have a vasectomy. I lied to you." And then it turns out that the baby's not the guy that she likes. It's the guy that's had the vasectomy. Look, I cannot express to you how horrible this film is. It's just like I'm not even looking at it going like, oh, like Victorian values. I'm like, this film's horrible. It's a horrible film. And I'm thinking, what does a guy do for a living? Like, how's he going to support these two women? Like, I haven't seen any evidence of a job here. And I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, these characters are horrible. This film is horrible. The scenario is horrible. There are no redeeming features. It's just, I'm sat there going, this is horrible.
It sounds like a series of men who've got that fetish to get women, as many people pregnant as they can. Have you seen that? Where they just try and have as many children. They say that they think Elon Musk has got that,
Okay, well, I think there's a lot going on there. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
Isn't it always like the most like the men with the least to offer the world who are like, I should have loads of children. And you're like, maybe you should tie a knot in it.
Yeah, just cut it off, actually. Just have some self-control. Like, we don't need more of you around. Anyway, it was just such a horrible film with...
And it was meant to be a rom-com?
Yeah, it was meant to be a rom-com.
It's mad when they put an abortion in a rom-com. I'm just Dirty Dancing has an abortion in it as well, right?
Horrible. Like, I don't know what... Like, and I'm sitting there watching it. And I'm in a WhatsApp group with Laura Machin and her sister-in-law, Kato, who is great, lives in America. And because we watch a lot of Lifetime movies, we love that kind of shit, film, TV movie. I'm like, you've got to watch this film, it's horrible. And then Kato messaged me a couple of days later, she was like, this film is horrible. I'm like, thank you. It's the most horrible film committed to film.
There you go. There's some Halloween watching. If you get to Thursday and you haven't watched a Halloween film yet, watch The Threesome.
Yes. Anyway, I don't know how I got onto this.
To have you do a director's commentary of films that you hate.
I mean, this is it though. I'm not really a film person, am I? So when I do, and the problem is I will just watch shit. So I don't want to see good. It's like when I go and watch. It's like stand-up clips. I don't want to see someone being good. I've seen millions of people be good at comedy. I want to see bad comedy. That's what I love. I love bad clips. Yes, please. I love Forwarding a clip to people going, is this meant to be funny? That's what I like doing.
Yeah. Or, I mean, there's, so many people put up clips where I'm like, you're dying. And they don't, like, yeah.
Remind me to tell you about a stand-up special that is out at the moment where it's been very badly edited and there is canned laughter on it.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you about that in a bit.
I can't wait for that.
Oh, that's me this afternoon.
Clyde is a very small, very petite, but very handsome young man. And he, again, has dreams of being, a musician. He learns saxophone and things like that. He's very musical. He's a dream of being on the stage like Bonnie. But he is obsessed with guns. Later on, he has like the arsenal that they carry around with them is wild. And they have lots of military grade weaponry, but he's a gun nut from a very young age. He is his favourite was a Browning automatic rifle, which was a
great.
What's it called? Machine gun.
Lovely bit of machinery, lovely bit of kit.
Absolutely classic, but was used in the army. Now
he's arrested as well. He gets arrested at 17.
But it's because of his big... Yeah. So he looks up to his brother, Buck, who will become a big part of this story as well. Buck is a petty criminal. His main thing is he sort of steals animals and cars. He's big into cockfighting. So this is where Clyde first kind of gets in trouble, is stealing a rooster on behalf of Buck so he can use it to do cockfighting. So as soon as he gets on this kind of list for the police at the time, it's a very interesting era. They basically openly admitted that they had this like list of ne'er-do-wells, and what would happen is someone would go, my bicycle got stolen, and they go, okay, let's go and arrest Buck. And then they would just go and arrest them. And then they could hold them for 72 hours without any questioning, without any reason. And then they just let them go. And then someone would go, oh, I'm coming in here because my sheep was stolen. And then they go, oh, we've just let Buck go. And they would literally pick them up on the way home and drag them back in and lock them up for 72 hours. So the police just weren't investigating anything. They just had a list of people they thought were wrong uns, and Buck and Clyde were on this list. So yeah, he's arrested at 17 for not returning a hire car, I think, which is the most sort of like white collar sort of like crime ever. But then he steals a truck full of frozen turkeys.
Ugh.
I think that's such a mad thing to steal because like, I think that about the, the people who've stolen like the jewels from the Louvre at the moment.
Yeah. Have you seen The Detective?
No.
I'm going to send you a picture. Carry on.
Is he very sexy?
No.
Who was the guy who was like carrying out? Do you remember that very hot guy who was like carrying out a box of?
Oh, the box man.
Yeah, the box man. Who? What
Andreas
crime was
Lubitz.
Yes, that was it.
Never forgot that man. Never forgot that man. I'm going to send you a picture of this guy. Like, it's exactly what you would think. And I'll send it to the group actually, so Owen can have a little look.
So this is what, a French detective?
This is the detective investigating the
No, Rachel.
Yeah, this is the guy.
He's also about 17. So he's got like...
Is it me or am I getting older? French detectives getting younger?
He looks like the most like charming French. He just like Humphrey Bogart. So he's got like a tweed waistcoat on, and then like a light linen... Oh no. Has that been debunked? Apparently.
Is it?
Oh no. So that's not really him. Oh my God, have we been fooled by the internet like nanas?
Oh no, it's on the New York Times.
Well, what I was saying is, at first I was like, why steal that jewellery from the Louvre? You'll never be able to sell it, but they're just going to melt it down. But with like, why steal a truck full of turkeys? Suddenly turning up and be like, do you want 1,000 frozen turkeys? And be like, well, I obviously think you stole them. And you can't melt down a frozen turkey. I've always said it. So
well, you're always saying that.
He steals this thing of frozen turkeys, but Buck actually says, you're too young, I'll take the rap for you. So he is prosecuted for it.
Oh, he's not the detective, he's just a well-dressed man who passerby.
Great. Well, he's had a great week.
He's not had a bad week, has he?
He'll be like, he'll have got some deal from that, definitely. Like the sexy criminal with blue eyes, who then became a model when he left.
Yeah.
Now, Buck
he had a kid with what's the chops, didn't he?
Who?
Chloe Green. So Philip Green's
Really?
daughter. Yeah. The hot felon. Yeah.
The hot felon, yeah. Did not know that. There's a comedian called Chloe Green who is a sort of who is a queer woman, and so you're like, I had a chat with Chloe Green. I was like, that's a fucking turn up for the. I think Chloe works for like the Green Party or something like that. So I was like, whoa, what's happened here?
No, that's not the twist in this. Clyde has legitimate employment though, doesn't he?
Yes.
From 1927 to 1929. But he was stealing cars and cracking safes on the side.
He could basically, there's a road he could have gone down where he is not the person that he is. Buck is put in prison. Excuse me, 2 seconds, can you?
Go to prison, are you?
Oh God, I'm so bored of mass incarceration, Rachel. He does a runner because it's a prison farm, which was a popular thing at that time, that if you were fit and well, you'd basically be sentenced to extremely hard labour. It was so bad in these prison farms that the only way you could get off is being ill, really. Men would willingly slash their Achilles heels, like the tendon.
No.
Yeah, they'd slash their Achilles tendon so they would be relieved of work.
How fucking work shy are you? Seriously. You would rather do that. You would rather do that than just, yes, it's shit, but get on with it.
There's
also
also
you're going to get ripped.
Yeah, but there's also like loads of maltreatment from both prisoners and guards. So he does a runner from the Buck, runs away from prison, and his wife and Clyde and Buck's mum says, just go back and do your time, and then you can start fresh and have a proper life. So he goes, fine. He hands himself in. He serves his time, he gets out, and they say, can you now convince Clyde to do the same? Because, Clyde is sort of dodging various sort of offences. Can you convince him to go on the straight and narrow? Because then you boys can just have normal lives and can actually achieve something without being constantly on the run or in trouble. So he goes, okay, fine. And so they have the idea is they have like a 2-week holiday before they return to Dallas to convince Clyde, come on, let's go straight, get off the lam, do your time, and then start afresh, you and Bonnie. So it's Blanche, who's Buck's wife, and Buck who go to convince Clyde. It doesn't go well for them.
Well, we need to say that he's actually met Bonnie. We've not mentioned how they met.
So we should talk about their meeting.
So there's several accounts of how they meet, and the most credible is that they met on January the 5th, 1930, when Bonnie was staying with a female friend. She was looking after her as she was getting over a broken arm. Do you get over a broken arm? I don't know. Bonnie was out of work at the time, so she was like, well, I'll come and help you. And it was on 105 Herbert Street, West Dallas. And the house belonged to Clyde's friend, Clarence Clay. Too many C's in this, don't like it. Now, Clyde had popped round while the women were in the kitchen making hot chocolate. That's cute. And it was said that they were smitten at once. And they spent all the time together in the following weeks. And but very quickly after their first meeting, Clyde was arrested and convicted of stealing a car.
They were instantly calling each other pet names, apparently, which everyone was like, oh, these two are a bit intense and weird.
Very weird. Very weird. When he escaped from McClellan County Jail in Waco, Texas, on the 11th of March, 1930, he'd used a gun that Bonnie had smuggled into the jail.
Well, yeah, before this, she hadn't committed any crimes. And then Clyde says to her, can you smuggle me in a gun? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. She just immediately is like, yeah, is so kind of besotted with him that she doesn't, not mind, but she doesn't see any, there's no odds to her breaking the law in such a manner.
He was recaptured on the 18th of March and sent to Huntsville State Prison and the Eastern Prison Farm, as aforementioned. Now, whilst in the prison, he was sexually assaulted. And what they
used to do is so Clyde, as I mentioned, is sort of young, spry, good-looking guy. But he has a bit of a reputation for being a bit sort of mouthy, a bit cocky. So what they would do is they would pair them up with, I can't remember the phrase for them, but like lifers, men who had no chance of parole, who were in there forever. And they were the ones who had like nothing to lose. So they would often commit the very worst crimes within the jail because they knew they weren't getting out anyway. So they put him in a cell, this guy who was horrible and who is basically taken the kid and started sexually assaulting him. Ugh. But Clyde does get his revenge.
Well, he does, because he retaliates. He kills the guy with a pipe and crushed his skull. And this was his first known murder, but another inmate who was serving life claimed responsibility for it.
Yes, he like coaxed him into the showers, hit him with this wrench or pipe thing, and then the other guy came in and stabbed him loads, and then was like, "I did it. What are you gonna do? I'm in here for life already." But he gets sent to the prison farm. It's a 14-year sentence he's in on, but he's fit and well, so they send him to the prison farm. He hates it. He hates all the hard labour. He knows that the only way you can get out of there is to be injured, so he takes an axe and he chops off one of his toes, unbeknownst to him, while he's in the sort of like hospital ward.
It was
recovering.
2 of his toes. He cut
Was
off
it two? 2 of his toes, an even number. That's very nice. Unbeknownst to him, his mum had been petitioning for his release. 6 days later, he's let out of prison.
You just did that for no reason.
So he's 2 toes
for
down.
Nothing.
Apparently, he walked with a limp for a very long time afterwards.
Permanently. The limp was permanent.
It's
after cutting his toes off.
Yeah, because he's out of 2 toes out of balance. Yeah. It's so funny. That's such a mum story, isn't it? To be like, you know, if you rush into things and don't have patience, you'll walk with a limp for the rest of your life.
His sister Marie said that whatever had happened to Clyde in jail had changed him. He said he became hardened and bitter, and he was not the same person when he came out.
There's a great phrase that's used about him that says he changed from a schoolboy to a rattlesnake. Ooh. Is what there was said about him, because it had just been so horrific in there, and you had to be so tough. He'd gone from being kind of like a bit of a tearaway shit to like, okay, he's just a nutter criminal now.
Well, he became a member of the Barrow gang.
Well, can I just say, when he left, he made 2 promises. He says, number 1, I will never go back to prison. Like, that will never get me in prison. And number 2, I will take revenge. So he became a Satanist.
I was going to say, yeah, seek revenge.
So he was like, but revenge not on specific people, revenge on the system. And he wasn't alone in that, because the culture at the time, with the Wall Street crash in 1929, is that there was no one liked the banks, no one liked the police, no one liked law enforcement. There was a huge, yeah, exactly. There was a huge like feeling from people, like you say, like now, where people are like, oh no, you've been fucking us over for years and years and years and years and taking our money, and life is hard for us, and you're not doing anything to make it easier. Fuck you, which is one of the reasons why Bonnie and Clyde become anti-heroes.
Well, the Barrow gang forms, and they rob shops and petrol stations, and it's said that they probably have committed several murders, including at least 9 police officers. Now, in the gang was Buck Barrow, Clyde's brother, Blanche Barrow, Buck's wife, W.D. Jones, Raymond Hamilton, Joe Palmer, and Ralph Fultz. And Clyde began robbing these places like grocery shops and petrol stations with Ralph in 1932. They wanted to get enough money and weapons to launch a raid on Easton Prison. He wants revenge on the prison.
He does. And also he said to a friend, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get you. And the friend's like, yeah. And he's like, no, I will. Bonnie is kind of waiting for him on the outside, but immediately gets sent to prison because she's caught, I think, robbing a hardware shop. Yep. And she's not in there for very long. She spends a whole time writing poetry while she's in there. The poetry will, again, make her very famous. And Clyde at this time is kind of training how to be a getaway driver, because he loves cars and guns, and kind of teaches himself how to. He does things like learns how to reverse as quickly as he could drive going forward. He practices all these wild manoeuvres. So when the police catch him, he is too quick to get away. So he's a very successful getaway driver, but in one of those early crimes, someone
I was going to say one of those early crimes, like cranking the front of the thing.
But he does, he's part of crimes where people are killed, and then that means he's now becomes a wanted man.
So Bonnie's released, and they're reunited immediately. And August the 5th, 1932, Clyde, Richard Hamilton and Ross Dyer were drinking moonshine because it was prohibition. What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
They're at a country dance in Oklahoma. Sounds a good night, that.
It does, doesn't it?
And they were approached by Sheriff C.G. Maxwell and Deputy Eugene C. Moore in the car park. Now, the gang opens fire and they killed Eugene Moore, and they gravely wounded Maxwell as well.
It's interesting you mentioned prohibition because that is another contributing factor towards the public hating the police, is that like they're taking booze from them and they're like,
life's so miserable we can't even get hammered.
Exactly. It's like, what, you know, when people do that about like homeless people and be like, oh, well, they'll spend it on drink and be like, because they're going to be sleeping rough, then I would absolutely want
miserable.
a body full of whiskey as escapism. The police...
It's like I hate people that go, well, they've always got money for cigarettes and alcohol. It's like, you know what? Even poor people are allowed a bit of a fucking lift.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'd be more relaxed if it's like, well, I'll give them money and they're just going to go on an all-inclusive break to the Dordogne, aren't they? And it's like, no, they're not doing that. It's like small bits of cash for a bit of escapism and as a bit of relief.
Yeah. It really bugs me a bit when he's always got money for booze. Yeah, fine. Let him have something.
Exactly. What's this purity thing? And it all comes down to people thinking that being poor is like a moral thing. You've made a choice to... Anyway, the police at the time were dog shit. They all had really old guns, so they only had handguns. Bearing in mind, Clyde is driving around with an automatic machine gun. They had really old cars, and he had an obsession with a certain car. Which was it? I've got it written down here somewhere. The Ford V8. It was the fastest car at the time. And he'd preferably steal those because it could just out-tear the police. And he loved them so much, he wrote to Henry Ford and said, you've created an incredibly brilliant car here and it's really good for getaways. And they're like, oh, okay. He would drive and Bonnie would navigate. And they would practice getaways in their spare time. So the police have got these really old cars, they've got old guns, they have no radios, so they have no way of communicating with each other. And at the time, the law is you can't cross a state line. So if they commit a crime and then head off, then that's it, they're gone, they're missing. Yes, okay, great. That was my little bit about the police there.
They think on October the 9th, it's alleged that another murder happened. Howard Hall was murdered during a robbery in Sherman, Texas. Now, this has since been considered unlikely by historians, but worth a mention. Mm-hmm. So W.D. Jones, WD-40...
he's quite a sweet. He basically is obsessed. So Dallas is very small at the moment. And if you are like, all the poor people know each other, all the middle class people know each other, all the rich people know each other. He is like intoxicated by Bonnie and Clyde. He thinks they're so cool. So he comes along and he sort of sits in the back of the car for all the crimes. He always says he didn't do anything. And he always says, I was asleep when it happened.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, it's a very Myra Hindley defence. Like, I was just washing plates and looking out the window. But he could have been hammered and passed out for lots of it. But we're talking about gunfire here. He became their photographer. So he's interested in photography and he used to snap pictures of the gang who loved kind of posing with their weapons. They loved dressing up. Because Clyde's big thing was he hated being poor and he hated anyone knowing he was poor. So the first thing they would steal above... like, it would money and food, but it would be nice clothes because he didn't want anyone to clock him and think that he had no money. So yes, he himself, though, WD, as he was known in the gang, W.D. Jones does, in 1932, kill a deputy sheriff.
On Christmas Eve.
Mad.
You'd hate that. I'm 16 years old. And the next day, Christmas Day, Bonnie and Clyde, W.D. Jones and Clyde murdered Doyle Johnson, who was just a young family man. They want to steal his car and they killed him on Christmas Day.
Yeah, wasn't he like 26 or something? And he
very
had a couple
young,
of kids?
Young father.
But these are the kind of things where it sows the seeds for this kind of indiscriminate killing sows the seeds for their downfall later on.
Well, there's another murder very quickly after that. January the 6th, 1933, Clyde kills Deputy Malcolm Davis because Clyde, Bonnie and W.D. Jones had wandered into a trap set for another criminal.
Fucking mad.
So it's like the Keystone Cops setting traps in it, that kind of thing. But see, 1933, so by this point, this is when Blanche and Buck join the gang. Mm-hmm. They're thinking, hey, they're doing all right, we'll have a bit of that. And Buck had been released from prison. And him and Blanche were living with Bonnie and Clyde and W.D. Jones in a temporary hideout because the police were looking for them at this point. Mm-hmm. Now, the hideout was at Oak Ridge Drive in Joplin, Missouri. Now, Buck and Blanche had been saying to Clyde to hand himself in because it was becoming chaos.
Yes, and they knew it was going to catch up. And Buck and Blanche are like, OK, if you're not going to do that, we're gonna spend some time with you, and then we're gonna go our separate ways. They had deliberately picked an apartment to stay in, though, that was on like the border of very close to 4 states, so they could always run over state lines very quickly, and it had like 360 views in case they were attacked. So it was about 2 weeks that they were renting. The locals immediately like, who are these kids who are staying up drinking, who got number plates who are not part of this state, and shopped them basically.
Yeah, well, what happens is, because it was complete chaos, their lifestyle. So they're drinking, they buy a case of beer a day.
Yeah.
Don't know where they get it from. And Clyde is cleaning his rifle and he accidentally fires it. Now, because this was such a quiet neighbourhood, the neighbours are like, oh, we're not having this. We're not having this. And they report their suspicions to the police. They've been reported as suspected bootleggers. And the police got a 5-man force together on April the 13th. But when they arrive at the flat, Clyde and Buck start shooting at them. And they kill Detective Harry L. McGuinness straight away. They fatally wound Constable J.W. Harriman. And then Bonnie gets in on the act and she starts opening fire with an automatic rifle as the other police are fleeing.
Yeah.
So Sergeant G.B. Killa, he hides behind an oak tree. I like the way the tree's specified. That's quite nice.
But apparently it's almost completely shredded from the machine gun fire.
Yeah, and he got the guy gets splinters in his face from the tree. That's horrible. Now, Bonnie, she runs the car, and Blanche has done a runner by this point, and they drag her in further down the street. Now, Blanche was actually running off to try and catch a dog, Snowball, who was... Even Snowball's like, I'm out of it.
I've had enough of this.
I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going. These humans are crazy.
Dogs are like the most loyal. There's so many stories of dogs sitting by a grave even when someone's died, and their dog is like, fuckity bye. I'm going. You guys are awful. You never walk me, and you're drinking a case of beer a day.
Do you know, I'm better than this. Snowball is better than this.
I actually respect Snowball's boundaries and self-esteem.
So the surviving officers said that they'd only fired 14 rounds. Now, when Jones was hit, W.D. Jones, and Clyde was hit, but it was deflected by his suit button.
That is so lucky.
And Buck was grazed as a bullet ricocheted.
Do you know what?
Off a wall.
Hitting that button and bouncing off, that is the kind of thing, especially in more religious times, where you'd be like, God's on my side here. God wants me to keep stealing. I would be convinced of that. I'm convinced of that if I go to pay for parking and there's money in it, I'm like, I am God's special chosen one.
Do you know when I think that? When I get a gig cancelled.
Oh my God. Do you know what the best thing is? This is so awful because obviously we're very lucky to do what we do,
Look, I've worked hard enough to do this job, but fundamentally everyone likes a day off.
When you get in as a driver, when I get in the car and I start the engine, I'm warming it up, I look at my phone to check for the sat nav, and I get a message going, really sorry, the gig's not going to go ahead, or poor numbers, or problem with the venue. Don't worry, you'll be paid in full. I'm so wide at that point, I nearly eat the car seat from the vag up. It is the best feeling in the world.
It doesn't matter. Like, obviously, being self-employed, you are going to lose money, but then at the same time, you're like, a fucking night off. Yes, please.
Cancellation fee. If it's on the day, it's full 100% cancellation fee. Unless it's a friend.
It's just the best, isn't it?
It's so good.
Oh, I'm really sorry it's been cancelled. Please do not apologise. Thank you so much. As much as we like doing this job, it's even better when you don't have to do it. I'm telling you. Don't think, listen, anybody that you think, oh my God, they must have a great life and they love their job. I think mega famous film stars like, oh, brilliant, filming's been cancelled today, I can fucking go and do something else.
Definitely. Like every, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who was obviously seems like a very nice man, but let's be honest, is getting away with it, is, probably on the set of something and is like, oh, for fuck, this again. Of course, it's a job. Even when you're doing something you love, it becomes a job.
Everybody loves a spontaneous cancellation.
Especially when you're paid.
So, where were we? Oh yeah, God loves us, that was it.
God loves us.
So the gang does a runner, but they leave behind most of the possessions. They leave books, parole papers, weapons, Bonnie's poems, rolls of undeveloped film.
Yes, books, marriage license. But it is actually, so they know who they are. They know exactly who they are. And it's actually, I mean, this shows what the police are like. They were like, we're going to release these pictures so everyone can find out who they are and see who this awful gang is. And the reverse happens, that everyone is obsessed with them. It's on every page of, every front page of every newspaper. The poems are printed in full. It's so funny that like so many people would have been like struggling poets who can't get published. And Bonnie's got like an incredible readership because she's done a load of murders.
Well, they're posing in the pictures with the weapons, and there's a picture with Bonnie with a cigar in her teeth and a pistol in her hand and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And as you say, this makes some front page news across America.
And also they're sort of like kind of, he's got his arm over her and they're unmarried. So it was like sexy. It was really cool. They're really well dressed. And they were like, they're taking down the banks. So everyone's like, oh, fucking great. We hate the banks anyway. They're on the run from the police. But it turns them into massive celebrities overnight, which is amazing. But it means that they're like, we can't stay anywhere now. Everyone knows who we are and what we look like, and it only takes one grass to ruin it. So they basically spend the next few months sleeping rough. And that's when Buck and Blanche are like, we are absolutely over this. We're going to go home. We cannot sleep outside.
I can't expect Snowball to live in this kind of chaos.
So essentially they're now incredibly famous. Everyone knows who they are. They're on the run, and I think they know the end is near. Because Bonnie writes poems that sort of say, listen, we know there's only one way this is going to end. We're just going to make it last as long as we can. Which is, I'll say it, fucking lame. Sorry, poets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Some of you are great, but most of you are absolutely terrible. Same as stand-up, innit? Some of you are great.
So it's going to be two parts as per.
It's going to be 2 parts, and we're going to talk about, because the last days of Bonnie and Clyde, I think, are the most interesting, and they are, listen, Buck is one of the most resilient humans in the world, and I think we need to give it justice.
Also, if you have one of those people that needs to binge 2 parts, just grow up.
That's fine. You do what you consume it however you want. Listen, we're recording next week. It's going to be out quickly.
Yeah. We're not streaming a Halloween show because people have discovered they can make money off that now, so it's non-viable.
Oh,
so,
we literally can't afford to. Yeah. It's mad.
So we try, but unfortunately people are greedy. So there's your little IPA that you're drinking there.
It's not IPA, right? I'm drinking something that looks like IPA, and it's first thing in the morning. It's now 9:45.
In a festival glass.
In a festival glass, a McCunston festival. It is fire cider apple cider vinegar. So it's just, then with sparkling water. It tastes like garlic bouillon. So I absolutely stink after having it, but it's really delicious.
Ugh, it sounds vile.
And it's meant to keep you healthy, so we'll see.
So next episode will be out very soon.
That was part 1 of Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. See you at the Killa and Filla live show.
My tour is on sale 2026. It's on sale now.
We've got a load of swap don't shops on sale. If you want to come.
Cardiff dates added. So there you go.
Great. That'll be fun.
So yeah, RachelFairburn.com. And you can watch my show, Showgirl, on YouTube for free or on Amazon Prime Video, as I saw the other day.
Oh, great. Love that. Thanks very much for listening. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.